business for the month of February the 9th, 2015. NBA trade rumors is back. We got some breaking news. It looks like George Karl is going to be the next head coach of the Sacramento Kings. According to a report I read on NBA trade rumors, that or hoop rumors, that there is some talk that the owner, Mr. Vetero, Vickis, it's a tough name, is relevant. The owner has an interest in bringing in George, because George Karl is, one of the iconic general managers, actually iconic head coaches in the history of the game. Going back to his days when he was coaching the Seattle Supersonics and the Denver Nuggets in recent times, George Karl has always been a competitive person, one of the great teachers of the game. It's like Dean Smith, the late Dean Smith, he died yesterday. So you got to pay respect, some of these great managers of the game and great coaches, good people like Red Auerbach and Phil Jackson, and goes on and on, all the great ones, Lenny Wilkins. So I remember, he was another great one. He taught the game. He taught them to go have fun. Not always about defense with Mr. Smith. The all-time winning coach in college basketball. He just somehow he always got it done, and that's what you want to see. You want to see a team get it done. You want to see a coach understand his players and develop them to be the best they can be and become the best they can be. And that's what he showed throughout his life, and he showed it as a coach. Mr. Smith was the man, and rest in peace. So we moved back to George Karl. The talk is D'Alessandro is in talks with George. They've gone over his health. Looks like he's 100%. He's had cancer the last couple of years, and he's beat it. So it looks like he's 100%. Recently I heard George Karl on ESPN talking that he's really interested in getting back into coaching in the NBA. He's been an analyst for a few years, and he misses coaching. And I wouldn't be surprised if this deal were to get done in the next few days here. And Kings will have a new head coach, and George Karl. George Karl is one of the greatest coaches in NBA history. Always averaged about 50-45 wins a season in his days with the Nuggets and the Supersonics. So George is he's one of the best, and he's been coaching forever. So he would be a good fit for them. So we'll take a look at what other news is cooking in the NBA. Okay, so we got the news on George Karl. So we'll have to see. I believe that DeMarcus Cousins' camp, basically his management team, are interested in playing for George Karl. So we'll just have to see what happens. So this is the latest from earlier this morning. The Kings front office has recommended that the team hire Karl, and they're close on terms of a deal, leaving the decision in the hands of ownership. Reports on Adrian Wojnarowski of Yahoo Sports and Fox Sports. Tyrone Corbin met with the front office Sunday evening and remains the head coach of the Kings. Wojnarowski, but sounds as if the 2 games the Kings have before the Allstar break will be Corbin's last in charge of a club. So according to Jason Jones of the Sacramento Bee. So it's good. You look at Sacramento, this is a positive move. Don't get me wrong. Tyrone Corbin's a good coach. He coached the Utah Jazz for 3 years after Sloan retired, basically quit. Oh, he didn't quit, but he retired from coaching. And so, I feel that Corbin is a good communicator, but, you've seen what his teams do. They just lose. So he's not the greatest communicator. Mike Malone was a good communicator. I wouldn't be surprised if he becomes an assistant under the new head coach of the Orlando Magic. And from what I'm hearing, it's a good chance the new head coach of the Orlando Magic will be none other than Scott Skiles. So you'll probably hear that in a few days. So The latest news, looks like Ray Allen is in contact with the Warriors. He's in contact with the Cavaliers. He's in contact with the Wizards. A decision on his future is probably going to come after the All-Star break. That's what the sources are saying. This right here, it says the Warriors are among a group of several teams that have remained in contact with Ray. Ray Allen reports. Brian Windhorst of ESPN.com. Golden State appear to have dropped out of the Allen sweepstakes after GM Bob Myers said in December that they have reached out to him. But the Warriors are still in the mix, according to Windhorst, who adds that felt they were close to a deal with him earlier this season. The Wizards and the Cavs, the Spurs, the Heat, the Hawks, and others who've kept in touch with all-time leading three-point shot maker. Windhorst writes that Allen plans to make a decision on his future after the All-Star weekend. There is more on the Warriors amid of the latest, the leaders of the Pacific Division. We'll see. Okay, Warriors assistant general manager Travis Schlenk, whatever, indicated that the team isn't hesitating to making a significant move as we get closer to NBA trade deadline. Matt Steinmetz of 95.7 The Game observes after Schlenk spoke with Steinmetz. Man, they got some funny names. Steinmetz and Steinmetz. It's amazing. And John Dickinson on the NBA show. We've been good for the past couple years, Schlenk said. Maybe not a championship quality, but even a playoff caliber. I tell GM Bob Myers all the time, our job now is not to screw it up. When you're sitting with a record we have and the year that we've had, you'd like to twinker. So they like to twink the roster a little bit, but we'll see what happens. There's some news on Isaiah Thomas. Looks like he's switching management groups for his agency. Yeah, there's not much news right now. Oh, here's some breaking news. The Mavs, the Wizards are eyeing Kevin Martin. Kevin Martin hasn't been playing good ever since he came back from injury. Before he got injured, he was averaging 25 points per game. He was just getting it done. Wiggins is starting to step his game up. He had 16 games of 20 points a game. Andrew Wiggins. So, Kevin Martin, he's starting to find his game again. He's making some big money. Not much teams can afford to play like Kevin Martin, but I wouldn't be surprised if the Wizards probably acquire him if they miss out on Ray Allen. There is the Dallas Mavericks. I'm hearing rumors that the Dallas Mavericks might get Amar'e Stoudemire. So here is the latest news on the New York Knicks. Andre Bargnani is available to play tonight for the Knicks. As Newsday's Al Labrazane notes Twitter, and if you guys can see that. Into the game tonight. So we'll see. Bargnani is available. According to what I've been hearing, there's a good chance that Bargnani probably will get moved at the trade deadline. This is after the All-Star game, so it's probably next week, the trade deadline in the NBA. From what I'm hearing, he probably will be moved. Looks like Amar'e Stoudemire might be either bought out or traded. My money's on him probably getting traded, but if he doesn't get traded, you watch, they'll probably waive him, buy him out. Probably have to wait a few days, and then if he clears waivers, I guarantee you the Dallas Mavericks, looks like the team that are interested in Amar'e Stoudemire will probably get Stoudemire. So here's some other NBA news. The NBA is mandating that Mikhail Prokhorov sell 40% stake in the Barclays Center if he's to sell his 80% share of the Nets. As David Kaplan of John Roberto of Sports Vision reported in a description piece, a source close to the owner to complicate the sale, which Prokhorov was intended to compress only his majority ownership of the team. So it looks like They don't want Prokhorov to have total ownership of Barclays Center, but we'll see. I think Prokhorov will probably still own the Barclays Center. He'll still own 90% of it. He'll only give up maybe 10% ownership of the Barclays Center. He's going to give up pretty much most of the team, ownership of the team. But it doesn't matter what the NBA says, because it's still his team. He probably won't own the team, but he'll own the arena. So he's not going to give up any ownership of the arena. He built the arena with his own money. You think he's going to give up ownership in that arena? They got another thing coming. So the Knicks probably will get rid of Amari Stoudemire, create cap flexibility. So there's some good players in this upcoming draft. JaVale Okafor, D'Angelo Russell, Emmanuel Mundi. I hear he's really, really good. So we'll see what happens. Not much news cooking right now across the association. But I gotta admit, guys, fans out there around the world, the NBA's been good. The Grammys were okay. Did y'all enjoy the Grammys? It was okay. You saw a couple of awards, a couple of controversies, but at the end of the day, they're there to entertain you. No doubt about it. They do a pretty good job. They do. I just want to send a message out to Bobby Christina and the whole Houston family. Get well, Bobby Christina. We're all pulling for you. It's sad to hear that you're in the hospital right now. Just get well, homegirl. It's like your mom, you got heart, You and Whitney, at the end of the day, just be you. And you'll be just fine. Thanks for watching, folks. NBA Trade Rumors 2015.